13-state succession. Well, 13-state successions. Well, there's something we need to know for now. Subjection news. The United States and America didn't need 13-state successions. If they got it added already, Trump already added some good new states they want to represent. So that's to be Greenland. Then it's going to be UK, or maybe Puerto Rico, whatever. If Trump impeaches, they will never get any to come back to become 50 states. And then at the end of the day, if Trump is going to leave from the office, there will be end up 37 states. And we leave off and get into a civil war. Well, it's a horrifying news that we seem that's going to happen for the United States of America, because we've been talking about like 13-state successions, you know. I believe how people in the California couldn't have a crazy place. You know, in a western area, it's going to be like an end of the shithole, you know. I know this shit's going to be rough. Atlanta and Tennessee, I know it's going to be rough too. I don't know if they're going to make creative themselves, you know. They'll just become as United States of Atlanta. So I don't think they're going to have any ideas to build that, because it's harder to build like better ideas, you know. Like, man, I can't complain, you know. Like, especially New York and Vermont, when they build as Puerto Rico, I can't complain. Or Illinois to become as Chicago Republic, I can't complain. Or even Conservado or Texas Republic, I can't complain. You know, there is going to become a third world country. You know, there'll be like end up something new since like back in 1860s or back in the 17th to 18th century, you know, or 19th century. It's crazy, you know, because the United States of America is such a downfall. Because, you know, they can't find like any good places to be around to add those states. And now they're going to have to end up a civil war or just decentralization or nullification, you know. I know it's going to suck because, you know, like, when the 13-state section is over, I think some states are going to have to stay. Whatever they leave is going to have to make a mark for the money, has to grow its own independence or raise its own in the sovereign region, you know. It sucks because they don't have to pay for the money for the agreement, because this is all about the Constitution. You know, if that agreement deal was done, now this is all about decentralization, because, you know, people can't take the fat, people can't take its own decision to its own governor or something. If they can't take the fat, they're going to have to become its own country. You know what I mean? And plus, they got their own flag in California. That's between Baja or some place around California that can build as a flag that were just around. So that used to have like 1836 flags there. But at least it wasn't too bad at all. Well, that's the most representative state that can become its own mark, because Baja California has its own money. So unless they'll become as People's Republic of California. So I just don't have a scene in the mind if they're going to have to do it. Because if people are going to have to declare war, maybe people may have to understand they have to deal with its own circumstances. If they had to deal with those circumstances, then people that have to do like decircularization or decentralization, you know? I think people, they just need to like mind their own business. Maybe people are just awkward because they just can't find their own business they had to build. You can't just have built walls. You just can't build anything like any like borders or whatever. If you're just gonna have to sit there and do nothing and then let the president just gonna end up impeached, all this because Trump is not gonna build any walls that can be around California and all that shit. Man, he's such a shithole president. He will never tell anyone that he's gonna keep up with this. If they let them succeed, that's called decentralization, because Trump is making it all facts. And then those fake news, they just banned them already, just like China did. You know, China just did ban the fake news. So does the People's Republic of California and then the rest of the region. They don't care about that anymore. They want to take care of their own region so they can just build it their own fact so they just become as Californians, you know? Californians has the great ways to deal with it. And that's how the reason why they have to do their own thing. If people they have to do their own thing, then let them just grow their own business, you know? Like, if US dollar is going to have to keep its own way, well, they'll do the same way. You know, America could be part of could represent their flag because it has to do with the US dollars, you know? You want to take care about the money if you want the United States and America to become the culture. It doesn't matter if United States and America will be like invested in some like its own country themselves. Just like Puerto Rico or the Bahamas, whatever. Doesn't matter, you know? 30 states secessions can deal with it. Doesn't matter, you know? Like what Mike Ruiz as Evan says, you know, like if they have their own ways of secession, let them prostitute and let have their pro-constitutions to fill them away from the governor. Because if the governor doesn't have to deal with it, the president didn't make too much decisions, whatever. You know? That's his own fault. They just can't carry shit. You know? If he doesn't want civil war, then he's about to remove his office. That's it. Who cares, you know? Anybody can care if they have to let him stay or make America great again, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, here comes the Mexican word of the day. Mura. That's all I can say here, but muro. Well, that means the word in English called the wall. You know, if the president builds a wall, who can you believe? The people or the governor? Well, maybe if they're going to get absolute times, they'll just build it. They don't care about what the species they're going to have to rebuild or something. But they never rebuilt since March. And then after that, they're just changed their minds since October because governor has to change their mind. And he didn't want to. They just wanted to prove it back to December. And now it's just, they got some crazy facts out there because of the Las Californias flags to represent theirs. So they wouldn't mind and see if they were going to have to deal with all the secession or whatever. So I think that's the best way with what the people want. So I guess that's about it. Yep. So this is your boy Odyssey. Well, that was a great episode. I'll let you find out when, and that's going to be the new season. That's supposed to still show up. So it's your boy Odyssey. So we can make another one anytime soon. So just a moment.